Hello, everybody. Hello. Good evening to everyone, and welcome to ESME. We have right now is our like a free preview for our 10-week upcoming workshop. So hello to everybody. I can see some people in the live right now. Can you go to the chat box and say where you are watching from? We just want to see kung saan ba yung mga nanonood sa atin right now. And thank you very much, guys, if you're watching live. And if you don't mind pressing the share button and just share it to your page para mas maraming mabless with our presentation today. So today, our presentation is sponsored by ESME, and we have an upcoming 10-week real estate workshop starting next week. So it's every Saturday for 10 Saturdays. Every Saturday, 8 o'clock ng gabi hanggang 9 o'clock, we're gonna meet, we're gonna talk about, hello Jason, so ESME, Mrs. Yes. So every Saturday, we're gonna talk about real estate in the Philippine setting. So we created this 10-week masterclass. Bakit 10-week? Because when we were conceptualizing this program, we wanted to do it two days lang, Saturday, Sunday, para tapos na, di ba? But I realized na it will not work as effectively kasi we will cram all the information in 2 days. And what if hindi ka available on those 2 days? Then mamimiss mo na. So what we did is we partnered with ESME because they have a wonderful platform where we can do it for 10 Saturdays. And then if on that Saturday you are available, you join the live. So you get to have a Q&A session with me. We get to interact. But if you are busy on that specific Saturday, don't worry because it will be recorded. And next week, pwede mong balik-balikan. And I think if you sign up now, you have 1 year access to the videos. So kahit pwede mo siyang panoorin paulit-ulit. So it's 10 week of real estate every Saturday, 8 to 9 o'clock. We're gonna talk about a lot of things about that. And we're gonna talk about the program in a bit. But first, hello Yatong, hello Jason So, and welcome to the show. And if you have questions, guys, just feel free to type it on the comment box now for those watching live. So tonight, it's just gonna be a 30-minute preview. But before that, can I ask you, what are your goals and dreams this 2021? Diba? If you're watching live, so today is the parang day 1 of another lockdown. So what are your dreams and goals this 2021? Can you go to the chat box and just type, ano bang mga pinapangarap natin this 2021? You know, it's August na, no? And konting tulog na lang, it's September na. Alabas na naman si our Ninong Jose Marichan. Grabe, no? Parang it was just a few months ago na I was talking to my wife and telling her na, grabe, it's September 2020. Now it's September 2021. So I just want to share with you when I was 12 years old, one of my memorable milestone was I wanted to buy this pencil box. Sabi ko sa mami ko, Mami, can you buy me this pencil box? And my mom told me, anak, wala tayong budget. Di ba? Wala tayong pera. How many here can relate na when they were growing up, yun yung naririnig nila from their parents. So sabi ng mommy ko sa akin, Carl, if you study hard and you become an honor student, I will buy you that push-button pencil box na gusto mo. So I studied really, really hard. And when the report card came nung March, what do you think? Honor student ba si Carl D? Yun ang aking report card. So I worked so hard to become an honor student and this is my report card. Yan ang grade ko, 77.6. Anong tawag dyan? Ang tawag dyan ay pasang awa. So because of that, it led me to become a delivery boy, earning 50 pesos when I was 12 years old. And when I was going around in Binondo, I would see a lot of the big boss, mga tauke. And they would all have property. Lahat sila may property, lahat sila may rentals. So naisip ko na, maybe really property is the way to become wealthy. You know, we came from we came from a middle class working family. So if you're in a working class family, you have a working class mindset. And parang in our house, we never talk about money growing up. Diba? I'm sure you can relate. We never talk about investments. And kung lalabas man ang usapan ng pera, it's always the lack of it. Kung lalabas yung usapan ng pera, laging kulang, laging wala tayong budget. Diba? I'm sure a lot of you can relate, especially yung mga batang 80s and 90s na tulad ko. So I became a delivery boy and I earn 50 pesos a day. And every Saturday, kasama ko yung mga workers. Every Saturday, susweldo ako, 300 a week. And I would get my 300 a week and I would say, wow, I'm gonna be a millionaire someday, di ba? From a position of victim, na-realize ko na, hindi pala ako victim. I can be empowered as long as I work hard. I become, well, at that time, it was just working hard yung nasa mind ko. Now, syempre, you want to become of value to other people. You want to solve problems. But at that time, I was thinking just to work hard and make my sweldo, ganun. So as a delivery boy, I saw many wealthy business owners have property, and eventually, I was very blessed. I am very grateful na nakapag-college po tayo sa UST. I took up architecture, and I was able to work for this guy, si Architect June Palafox. And eventually, I'm very grateful na from Binondo as a delivery boy, I ended up working in Ayala Avenue in a big company, in a big developer called Ayala Land. And I stayed there for more than 10 years, starting 2002. And during my work with Ayala Land, I was able to meet a lot of mga wealthy clients, and I was able to spend time with them. And, more than the experiencing their lifestyle or seeing them, it's really the mindset. I was able to see how their mindset works. Kung paano ang difference ng wealthy mindset and the worker mindset where I come from. And during my work with the big company, I met a lot of mga taipans. No? I was really, really grateful, really blessed na isang hampas lupa na delivery boy could eventually meet all of these taipans. Can you name some of the taipans here in the picture? And I also was able to meet some artistas. Yan, si kilala ba yun? Meron pa dito, si Sir Chief, di ba? And yun nga, na eventually, ang naging family motto natin is to be wealthy. There was a time kasi guys, to be transparent to you. Ang naging motto ko is, I want to retire early. I want to retire young. Pagdating ko ng 40 years old, ayoko na magtrabaho. I'm gonna retire. I'm just gonna be simple living. Pero may nagsabi sa akin na, Carl, that's selfish. If you want to retire early and become simple living, parang inisip mo ng sarili mo. Hindi mo naisip yung mga people that you can help. So ever since I was told that by one of our mentors, I decided na oo nga, no, it will be too selfish to retire early and live a simple life. So I said, okay, I want to be wealthy. I want to maximize all the God-given talents I have so I can be a blessing to others. So here I am right now, mga kachinito, doing a webinar for real estate, sharing my 20 years of experience to people out there who are, who wants to learn a lot about real estate. Actually, dalawang klaseng tao eh. One is yung they're doing well in life and they just want to make the right decisions. They want to learn from my mistakes. And then you have the other part of the audience wherein they're not yet that experienced, pero nabubuyo sila, na-encourage sila to make the wrong property investments, di ba? So, which leads me to our topic for tonight is 4 mistakes to avoid when investing in real estate. Lately I've been talking a lot about mistakes. Diba? You hear a lot of the good things na from people out there. You hear how property is good. We're not going to talk about that anymore. We're going to talk about the mistakes to avoid. Excuse lang mga guys. Before this session, I had palabok for dinner. Masyado ko yatang mabilis inubos. When I was younger, I would eat very fast. But as you grow older, parang hindi mo na kaya kumain ng mabilis. So, sa mga nakaka-relate out there, mga batang 80s tulad ko, so we're gonna talk about the 4 mistakes to avoid. Yan. Diba? What are the 4 mistakes to avoid? Number 1, financially not ready. You know, it's very rare that a person who wants you to buy property, sell you property, will tell you na you're not yet financially ready. They will always tell you na, hindi, kaya mo yan. May utang naman sa bangko. Meron naman mga bank loan. Diba? Number 2 is not studying the cons, meaning not talking about the bad points. We talk about the good points, and we should be talking more about the bad points. Diba? And number 3 will be not asking the right questions. Diba? You know, I just came from various Zoom meetings with people. And I have this a friend, but it's very sad that he kind of blames a lot of people for what's happening to him. Pag meron mga, ba't ganun nangyayari? Ba't hindi ako sinabihan? Bakit nangyayari yan? Ba't di ako sinabihan? Diba? And it's always, I was not informed. And then I was also on another meeting kanina with a lawyer, and that lawyer really put it in the right words. Sabi nga ni lawyer, ni attorney is, there are certain situations wherein you just don't talk about it. The question does not come out. Diba? So that's why sabi nga ni attorney, sometimes that's their job as the mediator to bring out the possible questions, possible scenario na hindi mo matatanong. Diba? That's why number 3 is not asking the right questions. And number 4 is no follow-up execution. So yun lang guys, this whole 30-minute session is just a preview of my 10-week workshop with ESME. And I intentionally made it 4 lang. You know, pasensya na kayo guys ha. You know, I've been to many seminars. Especially yung mga galing sa mga banks, yung mga economic outlook. How many of you have attended yung mga economic outlook, and after 1 hour, nag-nosebleed ka lang, pero wala ka naman na-learn or wala kang takeaway? Di ba? Ang daming PowerPoints, ang daming slides, ang daming kung ano-ano, but after 1 hour, 2 hours, parang, di ko na-gets what I'm gonna do. So personally, I was in that situation, and I tell you, this was, you know, maybe 10 years ago. I went to a private bank na economic forum, and I was with a relative of mine na matalino. I was this young guy, and after the 2-hour seminar, I told my relative na older, wala akong na-understand. Hindi ko na-gets. I don't understand what's the action point. I don't understand what I'm gonna do. A lot of here and there, neither here, neither there na statement. And that relative of mine na matalino looked at me na parang, ang ano mo naman, Carl, ang low IQ mo naman, Carl, di mo naintindihan. Diba? So ever since then, sabi ko, I think there's a better way to do seminars. It can be simple. Diba? In fact, naisip ko nga, our job as speakers or as lecturer is to make things so simple for you guys na makaya mong intindihin. Diba? So that is how my presentation will go. It's gonna be very simple. Number 1, simple lang. One of the 4 mistakes that people do is when they are not ready financially. Diba? So what does financially not ready mean? It can mean a lot of things. So number 1, it means wala pa yung pera. The money is not on hand. Diba? So if the money is not yet on hand, there's a possibility you might not be financially ready. Unless you're gonna leverage from the bank, you're gonna bank loan, you have to make sure you are knowledgeable about the risk of your bank loan. You know, during the pandemic, it's very sad, no? And I have a lot of friends who are complaining in social media na, bakit ganon, Carl? Bakit ganon? Di ako makabayad. And they will now take away the property. Bakit ganon, Carl? Hindi ako makabayad. And yet, pinapenalty ako. I tell my friends na if we cannot pay our obligation, then the fault started with us. It's really our fault. I mean, not to be insensitive. I mean, it's difficult situation if you are financially not able, but it is not the other person's fault na hindi ka makabayad. So kung baliktarin natin, let's say, merong may utang sa'yo, at hindi siya makabayad, it's really their obligation to pay you. Diba? So parang ganun. So many people during the pandemic learned the lesson the hard way, which is some are overstretched, over leveraged. So when their income was affected, uh, hindi sila makabayad sa developer or sa bank, and they are not happy with how the other side is responding. Bakit ganun, Carl? Ba't wala silang compassion? Bakit, Carl, ganun? Nawalan na ako ng work and yet they're gonna penalty me. I mean, masakit man, but at some point, the problem really stemmed from the borrower not able to pay. No? So number one, if the money is still not on hand and you are borrowing. Number two is if you don't have excess. Diba? So you're financially not ready if every month wala ka pang excess. That's how you analyze, Carl, kaya ko na bang bumili dito sa property na to or bilhin tong installment na to? First, you check. So in my 10-week workshop, we have one whole session all about financing. One whole Saturday, 1-hour session all about using the bank, leveraging, managing risk, analyzing. So number two is you have to know what is your monthly hurdle. What is a monthly hurdle, Carl? It is the amount na minimum na kailangan mo to survive. So ano kasama dyan? We will talk about that in detail sa 10-week workshop. It's the basics. Yung araw-araw na pagkain. You and your family. These are basics. The electricity, the water, the internet, the cable, fiber, Netflix. Ang dami, di ba? The insurance payment, your rent, kung nag-rent ka. Yung iba naman may insurance, yung iba may mga car payments. Put it down on Excel. And that is your monthly hurdle rate, your monthly expense. Kailangan alam mo yon. You should know what is your monthly hurdle. And then second layer is yung mga luxuries in life, yung mga once in a while na pag-grab food, once in a while na pa-eat out, dagdag mo yon. And then dagdag mo lahat. Pag may sobra, that's the only time you can buy property or you can invest, di ba? Kung walang sobra, then you are financially not ready to invest. Number three is you have a big financial obligation coming. So I want to tell everybody na, minsan meron tayong yung wife natin pregnant, diba? Wife natin pregnant, or you have a kid going to school, or you have your work is unstable, pwede kang matanggal ng work. So these are mga big financial obligation na kailangan mo i-factor. Diba? I-factor na, pag bumili ako ng property, pwede ko ma-afford ngayon, pero after 1 year, mukhang mag-aaral na si Bunso. Kailangan natin i-factor yan. And lastly, financially, you are not ready if your source of income is not secure. Meaning, you may have a side gig right now that paid well, pero hindi consistent. You may come across some money, na windfall, like maybe you're in sales, you get a big sale, but you ask yourself, how consistent can you make this income happen? All right? So that's number one, financially ready. At yung atong slide na to, binaliktad natin. You are financially ready if the money is on hand. Ready ka na bili. Alam mo na, naipon mo na yung pera. If not, if you're gonna borrow money from the bank, you have to understand how leveraging works. You have monthly excess. Maganda pag every month meron kang excess. Wala kang big financial obligation coming. And your source of income is secure. And that's number one mistake, financially not ready. We have a question here from Yatong. To have illegal settlers out of my property and build a profitable structure. Yatong, that's a very good question. I'm not so familiar how to handle illegal settlers. That's probably an area where the lawyers might have education about it. So, hindi pa ako ganun ka-risk taker to take on a property na may illegal settlers. No? But if you are if you are in a position wherein there's an illegal settler, I encourage you to take a look on what are the options. So with your lawyer, di ba, with your barangay, sometimes naman it's just really how to make sure na they are motivated. Diba? I want to share with you, Yatong, a life lesson. In everything that we do right now, in every situation we are in, it has to be win-win. The other side has to be motivated. Diba? Kumbaga, you may tell the illegal settler, sana hindi ganun karami na you are illegal, ganun-ganon. But, give them a way out. Give them a way out. You know, I saw this quotable quote on Facebook the other day. I don't remember the exact words, but sobrang daming wisdom. Sabi niya, if you push an opponent up to the wall, di ba, kunwari in a negotiation, kung tinulak mo yung opponent mo sa wall, you should give him a way to run away. Give an exit. Kasi pag tinulak mo siya masyado sa wall at wala siyang way out, he will fight till the end. But if you push them to the wall and you have an exit, they will exit for you. And ikaw, your eyes on the prize is to get your property back. Another life lesson for you guys is what you call the eyes on the prize. Sometimes we get into arguments. We get into, you know, I see all the time sa mga internet, di ba? Yung mga nag-aaway sa kalsada, dashcam. And it's very difficult. It's very difficult. One of my prayers every morning is, Lord, please bless me, give me grace na I don't be put in a situation wherein I will get triggered. My buttons will be pressed. And that magagalit ako. Kasi I know na pag nagalit ako, as a human being, baka hindi ko makontrol and I will blow my top or go overboard and I would regret whatever I say. So prayers natin yan na when we go out, we have to keep our calm. We keep our calm and we are eyes on the prize. Meaning pag may nag-cut sa atin, may motorcycle driver na nagmamadali at you know they scratch our car for whatever reason, as much as possible, I encourage all my fellow men out there, let it go. Walang kakanta, let it go. Diba? Kasi, you know, minsan, yung init ng ulo natin, pag nandun na tayo sa heat of the moment, diba? Hindi ka na maka-way out. Diba? And, ito guys, little commercial, no? You know, parenting. I also do parenting talk on the side, you know, as my advocacy. Always give your kids or your spouse or your employees a chance to get back. Not get back, wrong word. To bounce back. If they made a mistake, always have that little butas na pwede silang bumawi. After mo pagalitan, o ano, sige, para makabawi ka sa akin, you do this. You see how you end the argument. You give them a way out. If your kids made a mistake, sige. You say sorry na to daddy and you make me coffee. Diba? You allow your child or your employee or your spouse to bounce back. Because your eyes is on the finish line. Your finish line is not to get angry at the person. Your finish line is to teach them a lesson and build their confidence back. Okay, we're only in tip number 1, no? So tip number 1 is first mistake is financially not ready. Yes, at Yatong, I hope I'm able to help. Yeah, thank you very much. Win-win, give them a way out. Yeah. But of course, before you visit them or face-to-face them, you strategize with somebody who's more knowledgeable. The barangay, you know, yung mga tipong, ano bang pwede natin gawin dyan, sir? Talk to your lawyer. Ano ba yung stand mo? What is your position? Once you are firm with the position and you know you are strong, give them a way out. Diba? Give them money. Kasi kailangan talaga nila ng pera. This is another life lesson, guys. You know, when I was growing up, I would hear people, the older people say, yung employee natin, si ganun, wala na lang ginawa kundi mangutang. Mangutang ng mangutang. And since I was a young boy, I would say na they're bad. They're bad. They're always utang. They're always not able to manage their money. And then when I became older, I realized I asked the right question. How much bang nakukuha nila? Ilan ba anak niya? Saan ba siya umuuwi? And you realize na talagang kulang talaga. Kulang. So what did I say that? A lot of the illegal settlers, if you push them out to the streets, they will fight till the end kasi wala silang pupuntahan. But if you give them an option or a way out, I don't know how or where, then it will be easier to solve it. You come in, give them a way out, create a strategy wherein they will be financially rewarded a bit by exiting your property. Rungao Rec, it's good to see you again, my good friend. Is it okay to take a bank loan, even if you know that you can pay for the property, just to keep your liquidity and have funds for other investment? Okay. So guys, ang ganda ng question ni my friend Rungao Rec. Ano bang real name mo, pare? I think you mentioned it to me last time, pero nakalimutan ko lang. Okay bang umutang sa bangko kahit may pera ka? Hirap sagutin yung question na yan, guys. Because there's no right or wrong answer. Diba? It depends on your financial skill level. Diba? Hey, Anthony, I love you. I love you today. I love your name. Walang right or wrong answer. If whatever ika nga ni Enrile, basta happy ka, kung saan ka happy, you have to follow your heart. You have to be attuned to your inner being. Diba? Ika nga. You know, guys, I want to share with you another life lesson. So in our 10-week workshop, you have the technical and you have the life lesson. When I was younger, and I was 30 plus years old, I'm now middle, 40 plus. You know, syempre you're young, you're bata. You don't have firm decisions yet. You're just following your elders. Iniisip mo, siguro kasi sila ganun. Kung sila, they're mean, I think I should be mean. I cannot be kind. But as we grow older, we realize na, kilala ko na sarili ko. I'm the type na I'm a risk taker. I don't even want to use the word risk taker. I'm the type na I can handle it financially. I know how to make it work. I know how to exit. I know how to risk manage. I have some assets I can sell. That bank loan should be manageable. Diba? I don't even want to use the word risk-free. It's manageable. So you go for the bank loan kahit may pera ka kasi manageable eh. You know all the potential risks that you're entering. But if you're listening to Carl D and say, sabi ni Sir Carl, mag-utang daw ako, mag-leverage ako, pero hindi talaga ako mapakali, hindi ako matahimik, then don't do it. If you are the person na you are unable to do these kinds of leverage or financial risks, hindi ka matahimik, don't do it. Diba? Sabi nga ni Sir Randall Tiongson, it's either kulang pa yung excess money mo, kaya ka kinakabahan. Diba? So, in my other talks, I would always talk about the first level is to increase your income. I remember in my family, they would tell me to save. Diba? I think saving is good. But making more income is the right mindset. You make more income, then you save a lot of it. So you have excess investable cash. Then that's where the fun comes in. When there's excess investable cash. Okay, moving on. I appreciate all your questions. Just keep them coming. Not studying the cons. Okay, let me go back. Number 2 mistake is hindi natin inaaral yung mga potential bad na pwede mangyari. For example, you know, it's easier to talk about this now kasi dumaan yung pandemic, diba? But pre-pandemic, it was so difficult to teach people about this na, bibili ka ng condo because you wanted that rental property. What if? What if walang mag-rent? Diba? What if bumili ka ng 5 properties all at the same time? What if ma-affect yung income mo? How are you gonna handle it? You're buying this property from this unknown developer because you were convinced because of the discount or the promo. What if they do not deliver? How are you gonna manage it? Or, well, one thing na hindi natin nakita talaga is yung tourism. You know, me and some of our clients, we bought into hotel properties, hotel investment, because few years ago, pre-pandemic, the hotel tourism was really booming. You know, globalization was happening. The Philippines was a darling in Asia. You have China people coming. So one of our advice was to buy hotel property. And right now, affected yung hotel property because of tourism. So these are the things na you should consider in your strategy, in your mindset. Diba? So wala naman problem. And there will be strategies wherein you still enter knowing all the cons. For example, to share ko lang, which we will talk about more in the 10-week workshop. No? One of our blessing investment is a 4-story apartment building. Fantastic. 4-story apartment building. One of my more expensive investments. And the market segment was middle market. Lower market, lower market, worker. The worker market, it's like 10,000 a month to maximum 12,000 a month. It's a typical Filipino worker. Some of them no car, they take the public transport, diba? And many people warned me na, Carl, pare, mahirap yung market na yan. Mahirapan ka mag-collection. Mahirapan ka sa ganon. Mahirapan ka sa ganon. So many mga cons. So many cons, di ba? Pare, baka hindi sila magbayad, ganun, or sirain lang yung property mo. So I heard about all those cons and I factored it and I say, okay, I will still enter the investment knowing na ito yung potential cons because I wanna experience it. You know, I'm coming from a market kasi na expat, condo, now going to the working class apartment. And it's been 4 years already. It's been up and down, but so far it's been a good market for me. The market size is big, the worker market. And then there will be maybe 1 or 2 na headache tenants because they will lose their job or they will not, or they're just not educated, experienced enough to handle and communicate certain situations. Di ba may ganun ba? Yung iba, you just judge them na, ay, ang TAN-GA niya. But in reality, if you look at the working class people, sometimes they are so beaten down and they have no role model how to communicate things out. So, you know, as I go through this market segment, I understand them, I understand where they're coming from, and then we work together. So those are and it's, as of today, it's one of my best performing investment in property. So that property na ang daming cons, di ba? It's a question from the audience, from Krister. What happens to a condo building after 50 years? That's a very good question. Okay, guys, what happens to a condo building after 50 years? Just as an analogy, what happens to your house after 50 years? What happens to your car after 50 years? What happens to your cell phone after 50 years? The answer is naluluma. So let's face it, that's the real talk. After 50 years, naluluma ang isang condo. Diba? So, hopefully, is it good or bad? No? Okay, here are the good and bad. No? If the condo, you still own it, you still own the property after 50 years. If the property is well maintained, and you will see those buildings sometimes in Binondo, in Makati. Yeah, okay. Why Binondo? Why Makati? Because 50 years ago, when buildings were starting to come out, they only came out in, number 1, Escolta, the original business district, then Makati. So doon ka lang makakita ng medyo old Manila, ng mga medyo 50-year-old na building. If the building is well maintained, then it's still there, still being rented out. If it's dilapidated na, it can be sold to a developer and they will buy it from you and they will put up a new building. So you still own the property after 50 years. But it's economic life. Kumbaga sa economic life, bawing-bawi na siya. Meaning if you bought it for a rental property and then na-rent out mo siya ng first 10 years, 15 years, that's balik puhunan na. And after that, all profit na after that. And then you still own the land and pag binenta mo yan sa developer, you still get value out of it. But in a lifetime should be nakailang returns na siya. Meaning like ako, we've been investing in condos for maybe 10, 15 years and they've all broke even na. And when you sell it, it has a higher value than before. And when you leverage it pa from the bank, inutang mo yung pambili and then the renter pays for it, then it gives you really good returns. So 50 years is a very long time naman. Yeah. But I guess the right answer is at the end of 50 years, the building is old. Its economic life is mga matanda na, but the property is still yours. You can sell it. In Makati, in Legazpi Village, some of the older buildings are sold to developers. And then they put a new building, either they pay you cash or they give you a new unit back that will have another 50 years. So yun ang number 2 mistakes is to ask what are the problems, which is what Krista is doing. Very good. Not to discourage you, no. You know, in every investment that you make, in every business venture, there will always be cons. But the right approach is, alam mo yung pros, alam mo yung con, you enter ready. You are prepared. Diba? Number 3 mistakes to avoid, common mistakes, is not asking the right questions. Diba? No. I've had so many of these questions na minsan hindi natatanong, di ba? Yung mga, Sir Carl, pag bumili ako ng condo, may association dues ba? And the right answer is meron. I mean, not to sound bragging, but natural. We have to kinda have that kind of approach na natural, magkakaroon ng expenses ng association dues yung condo that you bought kasi sino magbabayad ng security guard? Maintenance ng swimming pool, yung ilaw sa hallway, ilaw sa balcony, elevator maintenance, the insurance of the building. So may cost talaga yan. In fact, mas matakot ka na pag sinabi sa'yo na ay walang maintenance cost yung building niya. When you buy it, it's forever free. Because anything na walang maintenance cost, I think will not be sustainable for a long time. When you say not sustainable, meaning magdidilapidate siya over the years. Ano pa bang not asking the right questions? 4 years to pay yung property. Does that mean in 4 years, tapos na yung property? Minsan hindi. Minsan yung property 6 years bago matapos. Pero yung payment scheme mo, 4 years lang. So akala natin after 4 years, tapos na. Yung pala, hindi pa pala. Because we did not ask the right questions. Diba? O kaya, yung sinasabi mong 10 million, all in na ba yan? Meron pa ba akong babayaran during handover? Ay sir, meron po. Meron din tayong mga Meralco deposit, meron tayong mga doc stamp na hindi pa po kasali sa computation sheet. So sometimes kung hindi mo tinanong yung question na yan, after 4 years, magugulat ka and you will be disappointed. Bakit hindi sinabi sa'yo? But minsan, hindi rin talaga din na pag-uusapan. So asking the right questions, ang dami niyan. Ang dami niyan. What if the tenant that you get is not a good tenant? Diba? What if your tenant does not pay? What do you do? The right answer is you have to deal with it because sometimes you don't know. And I'm going to share with you also in the 10-week workshop na one of my early property investments. Ito nakatawa, to funny story. The rent is 20,000 a month. For mga 2 years, nagstay yung tenant or 1.5 year. So, di meron ako mga 200,000, 300,000, di ba? Tuwang-tuwa ko. Pag alis ng tenant, hindi pala nagbayad ng electricity bill for 1 year. So, may utang na naiwan for 100,000. Diba? So, I was so frustrated. I was a young 30-plus-year-old at that time. I didn't know how to handle it. I was blaming other people, pointing fingers. But, really, we should not point fingers. We should not blame other people, 'di ba? We are always a part of it, 'di ba? Being an owner of the property. And what happened? I talked to lawyers. I was so pissed off. I was so stressed out because I was a young guy. I did not know how to handle it. That 100,000 Meralco bill was like such a big deal for me. Talk to lawyer, blah blah blah. I I I I was cursing that guy who did not pay my rent. Sent letter of collection. But what happened? Wala rin. Hindi rin ako nakakollect. 'Di ba? And eventually, I learned to accept it and just, add it to my list of learnings and tuition fee. And the best part of the story is, after a few years later, I get to meet that guy again. And I reach out to him and I say, pare, you know, um, whatever happened before, that's the past. Let's just do a restart. Kumbaga, I don't want to make that single bad incident define how we're gonna move forward in the next 40 years, 50 years. Ayoko rin naman na may buhat na buhat ako na galit sa kanya. Diba? So, I reached out to him and, at least it ended well. We're not best friends now. Kasi mas best friend, we're not best friends, but wala na akong galit. And na-send ko rin yung message sa kanya na it's all good. Don't worry about it. It's just money. God blessed me back many, many folds already. And lastly, no follow-up execution. Okay, when you buy property, it's just like business. You have to, there's execution involved. If it's a rental property, you have to manage your rent. You have to renovate. Pag naluluma na, you have to clean up. You have to repaint, retouch, diba? Like, we have this one property na rented out. This is a bodega. Unfortunately, the bodega is not so nice, diba? So, ni-rent out nung tenant. Hindi niya inayos. Syempre, okay lang naman, diba? Hindi naman sa kanya yon. So, for 3 years, it was left that way. So, they were using it, tiniis nila, makalakalawang. And then, eventually, I had some excess money. And I went back to the tenant and say, hey, pare, may inaayos ako sa kabila. Ipa-retouch ko na rin tong property natin para gumanda-ganda naman yung neighborhood. Kasi, syempre, it's an eyesore, di ba? There's graffiti on the wall. So, we decided to spend money even if somebody is using it. Did we lose money? We spent a little bit. But overall, I think we are still the winner as the owner of the property. It became visually more pleasant. The owner felt good. The neighborhood felt more beautiful. So you see, I may have lost a little bit of money, but it's the right thing to do, I think. Especially kung meron ka naman excess surplus funds. Because your property is your property, di ba? You take care of it. So there's a lot of execution that is needed if you are a property owner. And if you play the game, the long-term game, property is long-term, 10, 20, 30 years. And it's a fun game. It's a fun game, di ba? Wherein, you have a property, para siyang goose that lays you the golden egg, inaalagaan mo, produce siya ng eggs for you. Minsan magkakasakit siya, bibigyan mo ng gamot. And minsan, bibigyan mo ng vitamins para lumakas yung goose mo that lays a golden egg. Papagandahin mo siya, lilinisin mo. What you don't want is, you have a goose that lays your golden egg. And then you let it, ina-abuse mo. You just let it run. Hindi mo pinapaliguan, hindi mo pinapavitamins, hindi mo siya ginugroom, hindi mo siya ina-encourage, di ba? That's how you manage your property. And we're now closing. So there's the 4 mistakes to avoid. I just want to share with you guys so I just want to do a little plug, no? The Creating Wealth Through Property Workshop is starting next week in August. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk about how to buy property, how to rent, how to renovate, how to finance, how to market, how to advertise, how to manage your risk, how to exit. So lahat yan in a 10-week workshop. And I'm inviting you, di ba? By invitation only. So I'm inviting you. Just go to bit.ly/CDI workshop or just go to here sa ESME and they will have the link to the sign up. We're going to talk about everything you need to know sa rentals. No? Every Saturday, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock starting next week. And sabi nga nila, Carl, how much is your course? And I say, if you make a good investment and you make ₱1,000,000, di bawi-bawi na to, di ba? Or if you get a rental property na 90,000, bawi na. Or if you get a rental property that is a 2-year contract for 25,000, yung first month alone, paid for the tuition na. So if you have a tuition code, CDYESME, it's only 9888 for everybody who's attending this session. Right. And on that note, thank you very much for listening. Hi, good friend Edmond Lee. Very nice analogy. My property is like my golden goose. Sometimes the goose needs his vitamins or medication. Yes, di ba? And long-term, guys. I think when we start thinking short-term, 3 years, 2 years, gusto ko na ibenta, it's not gonna work. Diba? For us, all our properties are our goose. We take care of them. And I started investing when I was 30 years old. Slowly, not fast. Slowly. We'll talk about this more in the 10-week workshop. And now I'm in middle 40s. And I'm telling you, when I reach 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, 70 to 80, that's the time na we're gonna enjoy all of these investments that we made, diba? All long term. So right now, it's all accumulating. I'm still in debt. I am not yet in my retirement. I'm still a man at work. But I'm very excited to the day that, I can enjoy my time with my wife. I can spend time with my wife, with my kids, and I can be a blessing to others. Thank you very much, everybody. If you are still attending the live, please go to the chat box and just send some love, send some appreciation. In every seminar that I make, I encourage all my attendees to, spread positivity and just type in the chat box. Thank you, Carl. I learned this, I learned that, and I'm gonna show you my ending video. Thank you, Anthony, for registering. I'm gonna show a case study. So in our 10-week workshop, there will be case study every week. Iba-ibang project, iba-ibang analysis. And we're gonna talk about the mistake that was done in that project so you learn. All right, thank you very much. And I'm just gonna give you this video as my gift to you.
How to enroll in ESME courses. Make sure you're signed into your ESME account. Go to our live learning series page. Click on your chosen course. In the courses landing page, you'll see two options: claim 1,000 pesos off or installment plan. Click on your desired option and then check out. Happy learning!